Jane Collins.
And I'm Brittany Clark.
And we are two of the three fourth grade teachers here at Ridgeview. We're making this video today to share with our parents to explain a little bit about our new math curriculum.
So we are beginning the new math curriculum is called Math and Focus, and this curriculum is different because it focuses on the Singapore math method of teaching. And so one of the big differences with this, we are so used to teaching our kids steps to solve math problems, and a lot of times we realize at the end, if the student were to ask us, well, why did we bring down this number? We're so used to that way of thinking that it's because it's the next step is usually the best answer that we have. And what this does nicely is this teaches a student to understand why we do certain things in mathematics before we worry about the how. So we're going to get a more in-depth understanding of the way numbers work together and the way to do different types of math problems, and build that understanding further before then we teach them how to do different things themselves.
So to further that why we're doing what we're doing, new concepts will always begin by working with objects.
So when we're working with numbers and doing different things, we want to get the kids' hands on physical objects that we can use in the room to represent the type of work that we're going to be doing in math. So, for instance, base 10 blocks will be extremely important to a lot of the work that we do this year. Things like this, you'll have little units, is what we call this tiny little blocks. And these represent one. So when we start talking about place value and later when we're using bigger numbers to solve different types of arithmetic problems, we would use units to represent one. The rods are what we call these, and these represent numbers in the tens. And then we would call these flats, and the flats represent hundreds. And so the kids would use these in different ways depending on the concept that we were talking about.
After working with objects, then we want to move on to represent our numbers in a drawing. And we might see a lot of place values. So we might represent a number by showing it in hundreds, tens, and ones, and we use a lot of dots. So, for example, that represents 210. 212. 212. And then after kids can represent it in a drawing like this, then we want to move on to using the abstract numbers.
And so this is when the students are using numbers only to solve different types of arithmetic problems or taking word problems and making equations or expressions out of them, things like that. And now they're only using numbers instead of drawing it first and then transferring that to numbers.
So if we take that 212 and divide it into groups of 2, then we can now see how in our abstract numbers, we've also done it in our drawing, we've also shown it in our objects, and now we know why we're doing what we're doing over here with the abstract numbers. So we hope that's been helpful to explain a little bit about our new curriculum. We thank you very much.
Thank you.